just for the live streaming. We'll be hearing from His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Sri Swami Srila Prabhupada, lecture given on Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1, 1 and 2 in Bombay, March 22nd, 1972. I'll just begin the sharing and then we can continue with the class. Give me a moment. Okay, and this is a continuation from yesterday's lecture. I will highlight the text as we go through, just for ease. I will just go on mute and we can begin the lecture. Hare Krishna.
And Raghunath Das Goswami was the only son of his father and uncle, the biggest jamindar, landlord of that time. So they left everything. Tatta Turnam Asesa Mandalapatis. Because they are so rich and aristocratic, their associates were Mandalapati, big men. Mandalapati means big influential men who can control many persons. So they gave up the association. How? Tuchava. Oh, it is very insignificant. What is the use of this association? Then what they began? Tattva Turnamashesha Mandalapati Saning Sada Tuchava Bhutva Dina Ganeshako Karunaya Kopina Kanthasu. They accepted Kopina and Kantha, loin cloth. Very minimum demands of the body. To become sannyasi and sadhu means to minimize the material demands. So they minimized according to circumstance. They minimized. Kopina kanthas. Why? Dina ganoye sako karunaya. The general mass of people, they are suffering for want of Krishna consciousness, and to educate them, to enlighten them, karunaya, out of compassion. Not that Rupa Goswami or Jiva Goswami or Sanatana Goswami, Raghunatha, they took this dress of mendicant for fulfilling the bill. No. They minimize. That should be the process. Minimizing material demands. Turna. Tattva Turnam Asesha Mandalapati Saneng Sada Tuchava Bhutva Dina Ganeshako Karunaya Kopina Kanthasi. Accepted. Very humble life. Then there is another problem. If a very rich man all of a sudden takes to this life of sannyas or mendicant, it is very difficult for him to live. We have practically seen it. In Calcutta there was Mr. C.R. Das, Gandhi's disciple, next to Gandhi. So he was earning at that time 50,000 rupees. He was a lawyer. The Gandhi's non-cooperation movement, there was boycott of British courts. So C.R. Das said to Gandhi that I earned 50,000 rupees, you take this money, why you are asking me to stop practicing in the court? Gandhi said, no, I want you, not your money. So the Congress resolution was there, so he gave up his practice. He gave up his practice, but because he was spending 50,000 rupees per month and he had no money, he could not live for 1 year. He died very soon. That we have seen in our boyhood we saw. So from materialistic point of view, if one all of a sudden comes down to the lowest position, it is very difficult for unless he is very spiritually sound. So there is no need of abruptly changing. That is the instruction. But these Goswamis, they were so advanced. Not only advanced, they had another engagement. They left their ministership, that's all right, took the position of a mendicant, but how they live very nicely, that is this. Gopi bhavarasamrita dilahari kallola magnau sada. Because they are always merged into the ocean of transcendental bliss which are enjoyed by the gopis. They are always thinking of the gopis' behavior with Krishna. How the gopis were thinking at home when Krishna was out for taking care of the cows. And the gopis at home, they are thinking, oh, Krishna's food so soft, and he is walking on the stones, and how much he is feeling pain. In this way they are thinking and crying at home. This is Krishna consciousness. They were ordinary cowherd girls, not educated, not born of Brahmin's family, not student of Vedanta, nothing of this sort. But they were absorbed in thought of Krishna. That is Gopi Bhav. Always thinking of Krishna. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was sannyasi, he was strictly following the rules and regulations of the sannyasi. Even devotees, women could not come before him very near. They would offer their respect from a distant place. He was so strict. But he is appreciating Rama Kachidupasana Brajavadhu Vargavija Kalpita. This is the test that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appreciating some women's activities in relationship with Krishna. So they were not ordinary women. They were expansion of Krishna's pleasure potency. Ananda chinmaya rasa pratibhavita bhi sabhi ja eva goloka eva nivasati akhila atma. They are Krishna's expansion. Radharani is Krishna's expansion. Pleasure potency. Radha Krishna pranaya brikiti Allahadini shakti. Krishna is Parabrahma. And we, in this material world, in order to taste Brahma Sukha, Itham Brahma Sukhanubhutya, Brahma Sukha, we give up all material pleasures. Great saintly persons, sannyasis, they give up all material pleasures in order to have a little taste of Brahma Sukha. And Krishna is Parabrahma. He is Brahma himself, Parabrahma, the Supreme Brahma. Do you think that Parabrahma is enjoying some material happiness by mixing with the ordinary girls? Do you think like that? For understanding Brahma, partial effulgence of Krishna, these materialistic persons are giving up all material pleasures. And the Supreme Parabrahma, does he enjoy any material pleasure? No. We misunderstand. Therefore, without understanding Srimad Bhagavatam from the beginning, if we jump over all of a sudden to the Ras Leela or the Krishna's dealings with the gopis, we will misunderstand. I refer this very fact before you Because in various places, we have been asked by big philosophers, scientists, that why Krishna had his Leela with the gopis. They think it otherwise. And actually, that is the fact. If you don't understand Krishna, if you don't understand what is gopi and what is Radharan, and if you all of a sudden jump over Krishna's Leela with the gopis, surely you will misunderstand. So that is not recommended. Therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's secretary, Swarup Damodar, said that if you want to study Bhagavad, you must go to a living Bhagavad, not to the professional. Then you will not understand. Then you go on reading Bhagavad or hearing Bhagavad for not only 7 days but 7 millions of years. Still you will not be able to understand Krishna. And Vasudev has devoted 9 cantos. We are reading just on the first chapter of the first canto. He has devoted 9 cantos just to make you understand what is Krishna. That is also mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Manusyanam sahasreshu kaschid jatati siddhaye jatatamapi siddhyana kaschid vittimam tattata. To understand Krishna as absolute truth, it is not very easy task. You have to understand it through scientific knowledge given by the realized soul, not jumping over or Bhagavad Saptah. No, that is not recommended. Bhagavad recommends Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Why for 7 days? Nityam. You'll find here in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Sinnatang Sakatha Krishna Punna Savana Kirtana Riddantasa Avadrani Vidhunati Suhit Satam. Nasta Prayesu Avadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Nashti. These are recommendations of Srimad Bhagavad. Sinnatang Sakata Krishna. You are hearing Sri Krishna's words about Krishna or from Krishna. There are 2 kinds of Krishna's words. One is Bhagavad Gita, spoken by Krishna directly, and another this Srimad Bhagavad. It is spoken of Krishna, about Krishna. So there are 2 Krishna kathas. So Bhagavad says, Sinnathang Sakata Krishna. When we are anxious to hear about Krishna, Sakatha, not others katha. Savanam Kirtanam Vishnu. Not that Savanam Kirtan for any other. No, Vishnu. Here also Srimad Bhagavad says, Sinnatang Sakatha Krishna. When Krishna is within you, when he sees that you are very serious to know about him, Sakatha Krishna. Because if you simply hear Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Punna Savana Kirtana, you acquire immediately the result of past activities, simply by hearing. And if you stick to that hearing, then Krishna understands that now you are serious about hearing about it. Then he helps. Sinnatang Sakatha Krishna Punna Savana Kirtana Riddantasya Krishna Riddantasya Vidhunati Avadrani. All dirty things he will cleanse. He will help you cleanse. In this way, as we become advanced, our heart becomes clean, then we understand Krishna. Otherwise we misunderstand Krishna. That is our misfortune. Sinnatang Sakatha Krishna Punna Savana Kirtana Riddantasya Avadrani vidhunati suhit sata. Krishna is friend, Sridam Sarvabhutana, but he is a special friend for the sata, those who are devout. Suhit sata, he is friend of everyone, but he is a special friend for the devout. Channatang sakatha Krishna punna savana kirtana riddantassa avadrani vidhunati suhit sata. In this way, if we stick to the hearing of Srimad Bhagavata properly, then gradually the dirty things in our heart will be cleansed. So, when it is almost cleansed, not completely cleansed, nasta prayeshu abhadreshu. Nasta abhadra means these three material modes of nature. Satagun, Rajagun, Tamagun. They are all abhadra because they are material. So we have to cleanse ourselves from this material contamination. That is called nasta prayeshu abhadreshu. So nasta prayeshu means that when we are cleansed of the modes of ignorance and the modes of passion, when these two things are clean, it is called nasta prayeshu avadhu. But the modes of goodness, that is also avadhu. You have to transcend the modes of goodness. Just like people, they are nice people, pious people, they are attached to do some welfare activities in this world. But according to spiritual advancement of life, that goodness is also avadhu. You have to become pure, simply inclined to serve Krishna. Andavilasita sunnam jnana karmadanabritam anukullina krishnanusivana. Anukul. Simply how Krishna will be satisfied. That business. That's the gopis. The gopis were not sacrificing, were not performing big sacrifices or any philanthropic work, opening schools or hospitals and this and that. They were simply after Krishna. That is their quality. That is called Shuddha Satya. Sattang Visuddham Vasudeva. Above goodness. Therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommends Ramma Kachid Upasana Brajavadhu Varga Bhija Kalvi. There is no better worship than what was conceived by the gopis. But they are not ordinary material things. Therefore we should not misunderstand the gopis' activities with Krishna as ordinary dealings of young boys and girls. They are different things. Chinmaya, Ananda Chinmaya Rasa. That is Ananda Chinmaya Rasa. Not Jaramaya, not this gross material rasa. The sex life is gross material rasa. But the dealings of gopis and Krishna, they are not ordinary material rasa. They are Chinmaya rasa, Ananda Chinmaya rasa, Pratibhavitavi, Savijja eva nija rupa tayavi. The gopis are expansion of Krishna's feature, Krishna's Alladini potency, pleasure potency, expansion. That was Srimad Bhagavatam said, that this subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam is bent for Parama Nirmal Saranam Satam. Pure devotee who are above all envious. Parama Nirmal Saranam Satam. Vastava Vastu Veddamatra. If you want to understand real reality, not false reality, shadow reality, then you will understand in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Vastava Vastu Veddamatra. Veddam, Vastava Vastum. Vastava means Bostu, from Bostu, Basa. The Basa means Krishna's energy. So Krishna's energy is pleasure presenti. Vasava Bostu Vedama. And Sivadam. That is Sivadam, auspicious. Everything auspicious. If you try to understand Srimad Bhagavatam from the proper source, then it is Sivadam, Mangalam, auspicious. And the result, Tapatraya Unmulanam. Tapatraya. In this material world, we are suffering three folds of miserable condition of life. Adhyatik, Adi Bhautik, and Adi Doivik. That will be Unmulanam, uprooted. Tapatraya Unmulanam. Then, Srimad Bhagavate, Mahamuni Kriti. This Srimad Bhagavatam is not an ordinary book. Just like we write books, some fiction, from novel, from drama, and there are thousands and thousands of writings like that. Srimad Bhagavatam is not like that. Srimad Bhagavatam, Mahamuni Kriti. It is written by the Mahamuni Vyasadeva after his mature experience. After reading all the Vedas, all the Vedic literatures, Puranas, even Vedanta Sutra, he was not happy. Then, under the instruction of Narada, he took up writing Srimad Bhagavatam, simply describing the glories of the Lord. Therefore, it is said, this Srimad Bhagavatam is not an ordinary book. It is written by Vyasadeva in his liberated condition. Mahamuni Krite, Kingma Paroi. Then what is the use of reading other Vedic literature? This is the essence of Vedic literature. That will be explained. Nigama kalpataror golitam phalamidam. Nigama means Vedas. The tree, you get a tree to get the fruit. So it is said that it is Nigama kalpataror golitam phalam. Ripened fruit. That will be explained. Greatest contribution of Vyasadeva, it is meant for the persons who are Parama Hamsa, Parama Nirmasar, and if you want to learn real reality, so you will get it from Srimad Bhagavatam. So we are trying to serve you to our best capacity. Please cooperate with us. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Nasina.
Hare Krishna. It was a very wonderful class by Srila Prabhupada on the first two verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. So many points that Srila Prabhupada made. I would be happy if we can share some reflections, realizations from this very important purports and some points that Srila Prabhupada is making. We can make this an interactive session. Anything that struck out, anything that you found that was useful, anything that you want to share. And also please feel free to turn on your cameras so we can make it a lively interactive session as well. Selfish Prabhu, any thoughts, comments from your side? Sorry, I'm just calling you out. But if there's anything that you think this was quite helpful, anything that's interesting. I think one of the things that I kind of wanted to share was how Srila Prabhupada is basically clarifying the importance of hearing from Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna's words, as he said, comes in the form of, Bhagavad Gita, words of Krishna and words about Krishna. And they're so purifying. And he there was a verse that he was mentioning about how hearing Srimad Bhagavatam will purify, will abhadrani, he will take out all the inauspiciousness. We've contaminated with, our hearts are contaminated with so many desires, so many personal desires for sense gratifications to lord over things. We are carrying our impressions from our previous lives and many, many lives, and we have this multitude of desires to satisfy our senses and to be the master of all that we see. And how to get rid of it, because it is from all of these impressions forms habit. And sometimes I can also say from my life that sometimes unknowingly or unwillingly or even forcefully, we are dragged into doing these things, which we know that they shouldn't be done, but because of the impressions and the desires, they are so strong that we basically forcefully are doing these things. And how do we get rid of these inauspicious things? When Prabhupada means an inauspicious, anything that is against the desire, anything that is against the will to serve Lord Krishna is inauspicious. So how do we get rid of those desires? And hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, hearing the words from Krishna and about Shri Krishna will gradually cleanse those things. And why will Krishna do that? Because Krishna is a well-wishing friend. He will see our sincerity from our heart. We are trying our best, and Krishna will give that extra support, empowerment from within and from externally in form of devotees, through his scriptures, through Guru's words, and through a Vaishnava association. So that was a very important thing that Prabhupada is emphasizing. In fact, he was mentioning that verse 3 to 4 times, Abhadrani verse. So, Gilbert Prabhu, anything you want to share?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept
Hare
humble
Krishna.
all glories to Guru Maharaj, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the devotees here. I'm reading Srimad Bhagavatam from the first canto, slowly but surely. I think Srimad Bhagavatam does, as we've been told, it has all the answers, but for some reason we don't believe it. Sometimes it's like, has it, something written 5,000 years ago, does it really have all the answers? But as you keep reading, especially Srila Prabhupada's purports, I'm finding, it's definitely all there, but it's going to take me time to work through it and kind of absorb it. Because, it is transcendental, definitely. And, just hearing these classes every day, it's made a huge difference to my life, especially with Guru Maharaj. So I think it's just got to keep plugging away at it. Just keep plugging away at it.
Yes, thank you for sharing that. It's quite interesting, isn't it? When something is given so easily, in the sense that, the simple formula is just do Harinam Sankirtan, right? That's the Yuga Dharma. That will cleanse and that will purify, bring all auspiciousness and reveal our eternal relationships to the Supreme Person, Krishna. It's a simple formula. But yes, because it's simple, we think it's not going to work. And even in Bhagavatam, it says just give sincere reception, oral reception to the messages of Bhagavatam. And but then again, as you see that, if you consider how many the population of the world, how many we've got out there, billions, how many would have even heard about Srimad Bhagavatam, of these transcendental literatures? And that's why the importance of Sankirtan is so important, to go out and give the holy name, to give these transcendental vibrations that would help the individuals and the souls. Because my personal experience, relating to what you were saying, that it's there, but why do we think that it's not working, or why do we have not faith that it would work? But it takes that time, because I'm part of the UK Sankirtan team. When we are distributing Srimad Bhagavatam, we come across many experiences where people, when we are relating what Srimad Bhagavatam is, and people hear about Srimad Bhagavatam, and many even after speaking half an hour about the benefits of hearing and Srimad Bhagavatam, they would not be convinced about Srimad Bhagavatam. And there will be many who would just come, hear you for 5 minutes, and they'll be fully convinced. So, and we all often think, why? What happened there? What happened there? and we just come to a conclusion that they are not there yet in the Sukruti, in their piety, in to take Srimad Bhagavatam home. And some are ripened fruits, just waiting to hear and make that connection, and they'll take it. So yes, it's it's simple for the simple, right? That's
Can I tell the story of how Srimad Bhagavatam? Or if somebody else would like to speak first, please go ahead.
Oh yes, please. Sorry, yes.
But I can tell the
Anybody
story
else?
of how Bhagavatam came to my own.
I think please share while the others can relish your conversation and your realizations. And yes, please
Just
go ahead, Prabhu.
our journey of Krishna consciousness, we were at the manor, and Radha Shakti Mataji, she had the table, was promoting the Srimad Bhagavatam. So she was just showing us what it was about and everything. And I asked how much it was, and it was like £200. And I was so tempted to buy it, but it's like, that's a lot of money. Am I really sure about this? And I spoke to a friend who's not really a devotee. He goes, no, you shouldn't buy it. They just want to sell you books, that kind of thing. And then lockdown happened, this beginning of COVID around March 3 years ago.
Yes.
And it was Gora Purnima. And me and my wife, we came for darshan to the manor. And it was like we were sort of ushered in and like thrown out. It was a very upsetting experience because they had to go by the rules. And we just felt really, really upset. We've come all this way to see Krishna on Gora Purnima, and it was just a really weird experience. I don't know what happened, but so we decided to visit a devotee friend in the evening at his home. And I was still quite upset. And on the way in the car, I got a phone call from, her name's Rasambiri Mataji now. And she asked me, have you got the Srimad Bhagavatam? I go, no. So I thought, okay, here we go, another sales pitch. She goes, well, I'm giving you a set. And she just gave me a set. It was like Krishna just reached out to me and said, don't be upset. Just don't be upset here. Have a Srimad Bhagavatam set. That's how he came to our home.
Yes. It's a wonderful Sankirtan stories, isn't it? How Krishna responds. Thank you, Prabhuji, for sharing. The devotees, anybody else would like to share anything about Srimad Bhagavatam, your experience with reading Srimad Bhagavatam? If you have felt any transformations, any stories, either that from yourselves or your lives or anybody that you know, how Srimad Bhagavatam has made an impact in their lives. It would be nice if you can share, if you want to share something. That would be very good. I think the other thing as well, which is quite important. Sonal Mataji. Please go ahead, Mataji. And I think you're on mute.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I was just trying to think when you said that you come across various devotees who, some of them are able to grasp the knowledge very quickly. Some of them take time. I was just thinking of my journey, and so I think from childhood, I think I have been slightly more receptive to the knowledge of spiritual type. I mean, where some of my friends were completely blanked out. But then I was just thinking that maybe I have been the same in my previous life. And so it's kind of a journey which carries on from life to life. So when somebody comes across us saying that they don't get it, but then we should think that we might have been in their shoes in our previous lives as well. So, and we probably managed to get some mercy at some stage in some form. And that's why we are here, where we are, all of us. So just one reflection which came to my mind.
No, thank you, Mataji, for sharing. I think you're right? Somebody at some point, we also think, how come you are in this process of bhakti? And we'll find ourselves that either through the super soul, through our desires, or through our next previous life's journey, we have somehow or the other, we were connected to the holy name by hearing, by, in a Sankirtan, or somebody would have come to you and say, there's a book. Or you might have come to the temple and things like that. But yes, you're right, Mataji. It's come to different ways. And yes, at some point, only through mercy, it happens. So thank you, Mataji, for sharing that realization, that story. Hare Krishna. So you can now share this because The other thing that we also find during book distribution and also during the Bhadra campaign, where I was very much focused on Srimad Bhagavatam, that even speaking Srimad Bhagavatam, and okay, we had to make sure that we had certain goals to meet, but just speaking about Bhagavatam is so purifying. And then in the end, we don't really leave the results to Krishna. Okay, we've done our bit. Now it's up to you. But even speaking about Bhagavatam, we feel so nourished because you're glorifying Krishna, and it's so nice. So thank you. Any other comments?
Hare Krishna, please ask
Srimati Mataji, yes, Hare Krishna.
All goes to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for your realizations. Silpesh Prabhu, that's wonderful to hear your journey. And Sonal Mataji also. Thank you so much for sharing. I like this point of Srila Prabhupada's lecture here, where he's mentioning about the Goswamis, how they became renounced and they left everything, even though they were big ministers, and then with a lot of wealth and opulences. So they left simply all those things and became Goswami and following Lord Chaitanya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that's very inspiring and interesting. So they all gave up these material things, and it's very difficult. So that's what you are materialistic people. They can't leave everything like that, right? Even though if they lose, also they'll be always in distress, because they are very much attached to the material things. But these people, these Goswamis, they simply left everything, and they are simply, so that's the level of spirituality, that's the level of their consciousness, which helped them to do that thing. And also about Srimad Bhagavatam here, one more point here is Srimad Bhagavatam. We have to read from the first canto, not jump into the 10th canto where Rasalila is there. So we have to understand the first 9 cantos and understand about Krishna. Then only we'll be able to understand the 10th canto. That's an important point here mentioned. So he will cleanse. That's what Krishna. Hridayantasto vidinoti avadrani. All dirty things he will cleanse. He will help you, cleanse you. In this way, as we become advanced, our heart becomes cleansed. Then we understand Krishna. So otherwise we misunderstand Krishna. So I know that many will be eager to read 10th canto Krishna book and all. But first canto, sometimes we feel like boring. Myself, I want to always jump into 2nd canto or 3rd canto like that. But every time I get an opportunity to read Bhagavatam, I start from 1st canto only. I don't know why. So the opportunity comes like that. So it will not allow me, I'm not getting chance to go into 2nd canto or 3rd canto at all. I'm still in, how many times I'm starting reading again and again, I'm in 1st canto only. So this indicates that I have to be thorough with the 1st canto, then only I have to go to 2nd canto. So, but yeah, I couldn't understand that's a Krishna's plan. He wants me to purify first or cleanse my heart before going to 2nd canto. Yeah. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji, for sharing that. I think just to that point, I think Prabhupada was also making, and this is so important, that all the Goswamis, they did not take the dress of the mendicant for show off, to prove something to themselves or to the world or to fill up the bellies, just for the compassion of the fallen souls. They have done this, and they have written so wonderful literatures and propagated the process of devotional service. So the compassion of Vaishnavas is immeasurable, and the mercy is immeasurable. So it's so powerful when we contemplate on these things, that through the compassion of these great devotees, we can progress, and they're doing so much highest welfare work for the whole universe. Thank you. Shilpesh Prabhu, you put your hands up, and there's also a question that we will read. But yeah, Prabhu, please go on,
Yeah.
and we can take on the question.
Yes, so I just say to Srimati Mataji, I remember Guru Maharaj saying that the whole Bhagavatam is actually in the first canto, and Maharaj kept saying, just keep rereading the first canto. So I remember Maharaj saying that definitely.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, that's true. That's why Guru Maharaj wanted these classes. He started from the first canto only. Otherwise, he would have planned something else. But as we are all neophytes, and he wants us to be thorough in Srimad Bhagavatam first canto. That's why Guru Maharaj started like this series. Thank you.
Thank you. There's a question. I don't know who it says. SB13.
Rishabh Prabhu.
Oh, Rishabh Prabhu. Haribol Prabhuji. And then there's a question: why do we describe the Lord's feet to be lotus feet? So, Prabhuji, we would like to hear from you. Why do you think that is the case? So you can enlighten us.
Hare Krishna.
Hey,
I
Hare
don't know,
Krishna.
but I came to the Association of Vaishnavas. I'm here to listen. I was just reading the other day about this, and I was like, wow, I'm just inspired. So please, can you tell me what you know about this? Maybe we can all together meditate on it.
Oh, can have. Srimati Mataji, do you want to have a go at it? We can all contribute. You can start.
I think lotus is very pure, right? So that's why maybe we say lotus feet.
Yes.
That's the only thought I'm getting now. So I don't know much about it too. We'll have to
I think I
find
was
out.
just reading somewhere in Prabhupada's purpose in Bhagavatam that lotus represents, I'm sure it's in Srimad Bhagavatam, that the highest object of beauty in the material world is the lotus. And if there was any representation or comparison done or any object to compare to the Lord is lotus. But there's a wonderful verse in Bhagavatam which is also saying Namo Pankajanabhaya, Namo Pankajamaline, Namo Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajangraye.
Yes, yeah.
So there's eyes are referred to as the petal eyes and also the navel, but also the feet. And I think Prabhuji's question is why the feet? Because the feet, Lord's feet is lotus is also very soft. Lord's lotus feet are very soft, and we get protection under the lotus feet of the Lord as well. So maybe that could be another analogy. I don't have any references for that, but I'm just speculating on that part. But definitely, I've read the
I think
lotus
Kunti
being the most
Maharani's
wonderful.
prayers. Yeah, I think you said right, Prabhuji. That is the place where we can see. Kunti Devi is glorifying Lord like that, right? So definitely, yeah, we can follow her footsteps.
So, Shri Prabhu, can you please conclude this then for us? That would be nice.
I think that you said it wonderfully. Especially, I was reading the Shuddha Bhakti Chitamani from Shivaran Swami, and he put it in the terms of lotus is soft, as you said, and beautiful. So both things you said. So the feet of the Lord are beautiful and soft. And also Maharaj's foot are really soft and really beautiful as well. And once I had this unthinkable opportunity to actually wash his feet because of the tear therapy of his knees. And I said, Maharaj, you have a really beautiful feet. And he said, oh, that is because my mother was beautiful. Then, because if your mother is beautiful, then your feet are also beautiful. And I was quite astonished by this. I didn't know that this is connected.
Hey, thank you, Prabhuji. Okay, any more thoughts, questions, anything that you'd like to share? Okay, so if there are no further questions, I would suggest we can conclude the class if everyone's okay. If there's no further questions.
I have a little, not a question. I just think whatever we do every day, if we just read one verse, then we gain so much and we have so much blessing and so much bliss. And it's such a, you get so much, you win the whole Bhagavad. Then you win everything. So just read every day a verse. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. I think it's a very wonderful point because it says Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. The Nityam means eternal, every time, every day, constantly. But at least if you read one verse a day, as you say, Mataji, that's so wonderful. You're right. Absolutely right. Thank you for that inspiration and encouragement.
Thank you.
Rishabh Prabhu, please go ahead. I have your hands raised.
Krishna, Haribo. I read really something inspiring. I would like to share, and I'm sure that all of you already know. So I'm the dumb one here. Actually, do you know what is the substance of Bhakti Lata Beach? You're speaking about this bija, this seed of devotion that we get by initiation from spiritual master. So is this something mystical? Is this like made of, I don't know, pure bhakti from Maharaj just jumping into our hearts? So what is this bija? What is it made of? What is it exactly?
Very esoteric question, philosophically. I can't answer that, but I can ask anybody who would like to have a go at that question or any understanding about that. Prabhuji is asking, what is the essence of that Bhakti Lata Bij? What is it composed of? What is the...
Where is Sri Devi?
She's not.
Sri Devi Mataji is not online. Yeah. I think please
Okay,
ask.
Sonal Mataji. Sonal Mataji has raised her hands. Mataji, please go ahead. You are on mute.
Hare Krishna. I did Bhakti Shastri course last year, and we had this question while we were studying Nectar of Devotion. And there are two books. One was by Kadamba Kanan Swami Maharaj, Waves of Devotion, and there's one Jiva Goswami book. I don't remember the name. And in that, it says that where does it come from? Where does this bhakti come from? So I think it comes, I think Jiva Goswami mentions in one of his books, I don't remember the name of the books, that it comes from the heart of a pure devotee and it touches your heart, basically. So that seed of devotion is that feeling of bhakti, complete surrender, which is there in the heart of a pure devotee. Because it says that Krishna is equal to all. It doesn't matter whether you are a devotee or non-devotee, but Krishna can't give that seed to everyone because Krishna is neutral to everyone. So who can give you that seed? And that comes from the heart of a devotee, a pure devotee. That's what I get from that book. I don't know whether it helps or not.
I think that's going to be the right answer, but we'll check from our Rishabh Prabhu. Rishabh Prabhu, can you please enlighten, talk about this important point?
Like I'm a devil's advocate here. Sorry for. I'm really kind of trying to re-evaluate my spiritual life and add, start from beginning. And one thing is really interestingly about all of these aspects of Bhakti Lata Beach, about spiritual master, this actually answered that Mataji said. I actually heard it before, and I think it is quite in the line of our teachings. I should try to check where is the exact sentence that say this, because it sounds a little mystical, isn't it? like something mystical happens, like from the heart of spiritual masters, something jumps in our hearts, then it's like a mystical moment where you kind of start practicing devotional life. But there is two other ways to see Bhakti Lata Beach. One is the desire to practice spiritual life, because we see someone who is fully immersed in spiritual life. And so the soul, having the gross and subtle body, the only thing what the soul can actually do, because it is moved by the free modes of material nature, is to desire. So having a billions of desires of, trying to enjoy this world, there is a spiritual master, somebody that really kind of, struck us with his appearance and his attitude of service. He actually gives us this initial, again, desire to serve the Lord. So in this sense, this is one way to see it. And there is another way, even more technical, really technical. And it is speaking about the instructions of a spiritual master, that this is the Bhakti Lata Beach. In the Madhya Lila, CC 19th chapter, verses 151, 152. It explains really technically about this Bhakti Lata Beach. It said that it is the methods, rules, and regulations that spiritual master give to us, because this is the process of how to develop our love for Krishna, process of serving the Lord, which is the most confidential knowledge. This is the most confidential, the most transcendental, and the most purest knowledge there is our initial knowledge of how to serve the Lord with love. So this bija, even though Maharaj gives us the rules and the regulations and give us the instructions, if we do not embrace the instructions, we are not actually putting the seed in our heart. Interestingly, isn't it? We can hold it in our hands and look at it and be so amazed we have a Bhakti Lata Beach, but we want to get the fruits of it, right? So it kind of really these two verses is speaking, if we do not attentively, full-heartedly listen to the instructions of the spiritual masters, how to perform devotional service, we are not watering the Bhakti Lata Beach. We are not embracing the Bhakti. We didn't even put it in the ground. And we can actually think that we are so spiritual for many, many years, like even many whole lives. But what we were doing, maybe we embraced the instructions half-heartedly, and then we embraced something else next to it. This is called the weeds, right? And it's really interesting that it comes to the point that how much we are eager, convinced to embrace the teachings of Srila Prabhupada, which our spiritual master is giving us in the pure way, the more we are actually watering the seed of the bija of Bhakti Lata Beach, not the seed of Karma Yoga, not the beach of Jnana Yoga, politics, social speculations, and all other. Yeah, this is something really relevant for me now. Wanted to share.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I think thank you for sharing that. It's quite a deep philosophical discussion points. But thank you for bringing that out. And thank you, Somal Mataji, for sharing your realizations and what you've heard from Bhakti Shastri. So I'm just conscious of the time, dear devotees. I would like to conclude the class. There's nothing else. So thank you very much for joining. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Samaveta bhakta vrinda ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you.